Today, for a quick, I will be talking about his new supply. And this necessarily doesn't have a Bible scripture, use a Bible scripture, but I'm going to be talking off of the top of my head. And this is something I had to learn because I went through this, when I was discarded by when I was discarded, this was what happened. When I discarded, I was, how old was I? I was 37. And the ex went to someone that was in their early 30s, right? So, as it was, it's fresh happening to me. And I came back at, my life, you felt I felt some type of way because you see a younger girl, you're in your lower 30s and this early 30s, and like everything that you wanted for the ex to do, he started to do with this woman. You wanted him to just put you on Facebook and acknowledge that you were married, you were in a relationship. He never did that. And then his new supply comes along and he was doing all these things. He was putting her in face, he was showing her off to the world, he was professing his love and all these things, but as a woman looking back, you have clear, I was in the situation, was saying, why didn't you do these things with me? But as I understand now, and I understand, the narcissist, as soon when he was married, he was already had that person, so he was already grooming that person. So it looks like when they leave, already find a person, but that's not the case. They already have that person behind the scene. So you see, when you break the man 2, 3, 5, 6 days, he finds somebody. Or if the woman breaks up with a man, because she always had someone. The narcs have someone behind the scene that they're grooming, because remember, you're now hip to the game. You already know, or you're just tired, or maybe you're not aware, but you're just tired of it. So what happens now? Because you're tired of everything, you're tired of the lies, you're tired of the nonsense, you're just tired, right? And they begin to groom someone because they can feed off of you. They can feed off of the negative energy. They can suck the life out of you. They can do all those things. So now they've already behind the scene started to groom someone to take your place. They already started because they are at the point of discarding you. So you don't know you're about to be discarded, but they already know. So they already have to have someone to take over your spot. So now when the person comes in and they deliberately, they sit down and they're planning, they think to carry out. So if it's a woman and she was with a man, and if the man was fat, she's going to get a man that's skinny. So when the fat man is looking at the skinny man, he's going to feel away from me. My ex went with a woman that was younger. I wanted to be a teacher and all these things. He went with a woman that was a teacher. I wanted to further my education. He went with the woman, he was praising her with her education, and I wanted to do all these things. So it's deliberately done to make you feel bad, to make you feel jealous, to make you feel like you're not good enough. You're not good enough for them. So they had to move on and find someone that was better than you. But the devil is a lie, because what happens is that person, right? Even on the outside looking at you, might say, "Oh, this person is better than me because he's treating her the way that I wanted to be treated." Or the man might say, "Oh, she's treating him the way I wanted her to treat me." But on the outside looking in, but let me tell you that the devil is a liar, and the devil is the father of lies, because this is what God began to reveal to me as I came out of the situation, and as I'm still trying to navigate myself through this whole stuff. What God began to reveal to me is, yes, the person might have more education than you. Yes, the person might yes, the person might have a lot of stuff more than you, but what that person doesn't have more than you is that person is willing to put up with the foolishness. That person is willing to put up with the nonsense, and you were not. That person is willing to put up with the abuse. When you see them there, they're going through all sorts of abuse. They're willing to put up, and that's why the narc will stay with them, because they're willing to put up with the stuff. They're willing to put up with the abuse. They're willing to put up with the lying. They're willing to put up with the cheating. They're willing to put up with the devaluing, because as soon as the love bombing ends, and it will come to an end, then they go into the devaluing, and then love bomb again, devalue, love bomb, devalue, love bomb. But what God began to reveal to me, not realize, I'm sorry, that person, the new supply, will put up with so much more than you didn't even have to put up with. And as the night goes on and goes on and goes on, he becomes more terrible. So even the things that you have went through and have gone through with that person, when he moves on from you, the other person that he goes to, it gets like the spirit gets more, to say like the spirit gets more stronger, and what you have been through with that person will be the tip of the iceberg as he goes on and he goes on and he goes on and he goes on, because it will go from bad to worse. So you just thank God that you're out of it. Thank God that he discarded you. What the enemy meant for evil, God will use for good. And I just want to say to you, not because that man has moved on and that woman has moved on. Yes, on pen and paper, the woman might have more education. The man might be more better looking than you, but whatever. But let me tell you, that man or that woman is willing to put up with so much stuff that you will not put up with. That man or that woman is willing to have their self-esteem walked upon, is willing to be used, abused. But you're not willing to do that. That's why he had to leave. That's why she had to leave, because they want a puppet. And you said, no, you're not going to lie to me. You're not going to treat me like that. You're not going to do that. And when they cannot have control, when they cannot manipulate you anymore, then they will discard. And behind the scene, they already have their new supply. And they deliberately choose who they want. So when the new supply comes along, because the new supply will be there with you, maybe the new supply even knows about you, but you don't know because you're in the dark. But nevertheless, the new supply will be there. But I'm saying to you, the new supply will go through so much hell and more. And if you're lucky, that person will come back and apologize. If you're lucky, that person will go through hell. And if you're lucky, you will have a front seat to the stuff, and you will see that what the enemy meant for evil, God is used for good, because in him discarding you, or in her discarding you, it was God's a blessing, and it was God's protection over your life. And that is the end of his new supply. Bye.